personally and to the East African community? Do you feel we are advancing in line with the vision of the founding fathers? And how would you assess the progress made so far in integrating the region? I welcome you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, President Samia Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Their Excellencies, the heads of state who are here, the Right Honorable Secretary General, the Honorable Ministers, and ladies and gentlemen. I have written something here in handwriting. It is not yet typed, but it will be typed. We are here to celebrate the 25 years of the revived East African community. This is good, and I congratulate the East Africans for achieving this. However, I propose that we also celebrate the more than 1,000 years of trade connectedness of this area. Because when we talk of, I was actually thinking what to tell you people, but then God told me that I should tell you this. Because when you say East African Community, 1999, but we have been here for more than 1,000 years. So I would like you, the leaders, the intellectuals, to really broaden your thinking. Now I have used the word trade connectedness of this area. Mark those words. Trade connectedness of this area. The area of the East African coast, Pwani, the savanna land of central Tanzania, and the Great Lakes. These areas have been connected trade-wise for more than 1,000 years. How do we know the connectedness in a trade of these areas? How do we know? What evidence do I have? There are earthworks, trenches in the Zimbabwe district of Uganda, known as Bigobyamjenyi. There were ancient earthworks like fortifications in Uganda. They are called Bigobyamjenyi. Those earthworks were built by the dynasty of the Batrezi that had united a big chunk of that area for a number of centuries. There was a dynasty which united our area there for a number of centuries. The archaeologists did some excavations and found Nkwanzi. Nkwanzi in our local language, in Swahili, I think you would say ushanga. Nadhani mnaziita ushanga.
Ushanga.
Meaning glass beads. Glass beads. They found cattle bones and engusio. Engusio are the broken pottery pieces of broken clay pots. There are also nearby mounds of ancient cow dung, what we call a mungu in our language, the ancient cow dung heaps. The archaeological items thus recovered were dated to have been used between 900 AD and 1350 AD. These glass beads were being used 900 AD up to 1350 AD. Among those items were the glass beads already talked about. Where had these come from at that time? Where did the ushanga come from? To go 1,000 miles to Uganda. They were not being manufactured in Uganda or anywhere nearby. They came from Mesopotamia, present-day Iraq, through Pwani coast, Ugogo Dodoma area, Unyamwezi, that is Tabora area, Usukuma, Mwanza, Buzinza huko mbele huko baada ya Mwanza, Karagwe, and eventually to Uganda. Therefore, there is no doubt that more than 1,000 years ago, this area was a connected trade area, CTA. Can we introduce that? Because you like to use, you like abbreviations. PTA, I don't know what, I don't know. So I have given you now a new one. CTA, Connected Trade Area. Mark you, Your Excellencies, I'm not using the words free trade area. I will come to that also. FTA. This was not an FTA, it was not a free trade area, but it was a connected trade area. This is because it was not yet a free trade area. It was not an FTA. This is because some of the greedy chiefs along the trade routes were extorting what they were calling hongo. Hongo, I knew hongo to be like bribery, but when I read the literature, it seems as if they were talking about customs, about taxes. When I say hongo, you can, of course here I'm being guided by Huntington Speak and Stanley. They are the ones who wrote about this, so I don't know they were using the word hongo. Hongo meaning like tax, or for him they wrote hongo. Hongo, they say hongo, but what they meant was tax. So these chiefs, some of them were extorting a lot of money from the traders, excessively taxing the traders. There was a notorious chief in Buzinza, known as what I came to understand as Ruswarura. When you read, I think it is Speak, Understand, they write Saurora, but they were mispronouncing the name. But when I asked one of the Iyara members from Buzinza, there was an old man in the past, he told me that the name of this chief was Ruswarura of the Buzinza, was very famous for extorting money, extorting gifts from traders. The other European travelers had written his name as Uswarora or something like that. He would extort a lot of what they were calling hongo. That's what they wrote, the Stanley or Speak, one of them, from the traders. But then there was the giant and gentle Rumanyika of Karagwe, who would, on the other hand, give a lot of gifts and assist travelers. Rumanyika was very, 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 very generous to the traders and to the travelers. Speak and Stanley wrote with a lot of praises about Rumanyika, the king of Karagwe. Therefore, our area was a connected trade area, but not a free trade area. through Pwani would get, through coast, Pwani is coast. Through Pwani would get Nkwanzi, glass beads, Emienda, textiles, guns and gunpowder, etc. Out of the Congo forest would get a miringa, that is a brass or copper bracelets. They are called a miringa in our language. Engoro, those are ivory bangles made out of ivory. Enyerere, they are worn by women. They are iron coils worn on the legs by women. In fact, when Mwalimu's name first came in the news, 1950s, they were saying Nyerere. We said this is. We thought it meant that in our area, but later on we were told it meant something slightly different. Amoshe, giraffe hair neckwear. From Buhaya, from the Bukoba area, would get, our area would get a toma, back cloth. From Bunyoro, would get umonyo, rock salt. Our ignorant chiefs kept that underutilization of our opportunities for all that time until the Europeans came and captured them. Because this area was connected trade-wise, but our chiefs never used it to consolidate it, so the Europeans came and captured the area. Now the Europeans first came to the East African coast in the persons of Vasco da Gama in 1498. Then they disconnected our connected trade area when they colonized the region and fragmented it among the English, Kenya and Uganda, the Germans, Tanganyika, Rwanda and Burundi, Belgians, Congo, the British and the Egyptians, South Sudan. So when these foreigners came, because of our internal weaknesses, now what was a CTA became a DTA, a disconnected trade area. Thereafter, our CTA, connected trade area, became a DTA, disconnected trade area. This was the fault of the chiefs. This definitely was the fault of our chiefs. Vasco da Gama came here in 1498. That is when the first white man came to the East African coast, signaling a possible new danger to us. That's how they were called Wazungu. Because I think they were asked, what are you looking for? Tunazunguka.
They just said they are going around. They were going around.
Now, Vasco da Gama came here in 1498. The Berlin Congress that partitioned Africa into colonies took place in 1884-85. This is a whole 386 years of our wonderful chiefs watching the danger coming and doing nothing about it. This is just the history. It is therefore most commendable that our leaders, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, and Dr. Obote, as soon as we got out of the nightmare of colonialism, took the bold step of the decision to form the political federation of East Africa on the 3rd of June 1963, which is what my daughter, the Secretary General, was talking about. I have already given Her Excellency that picture, and I've also given to His Excellency Ruto. I've given all the presidents, even President Kagame, I gave him the picture, that picture of the 3rd of June, 1963. But now I have some copies I want to give to Secretary General again, and to Yara, and to Secretariat. I don't know whether they are the same secretaries. And then to the East African Council, Trade Council. Are there traders here? Oh, okay. Bring my pictures. I have already given those pictures to their excellencies, the presidents. Unfortunately, some actors let us down and did not follow up that decision of forming the political federation in 1963. Picture zangu nyinyi waheshimiwa. I'm glad Tanganyika and Zanzibar moved ahead and formed Tanzania, that has played a very unique role in the liberation of Southern Africa, as well as the fight against Idi Amin in Uganda. Because remember, muungano wa Tanganyika na Zanzibar was 1964. That was after Mwalimu and Mzee Karume noticed the hesitation by Obote and Kenyatta. That's how Mwalimu and Sheikh Abedi Karume said, wacha tuende mbele sisi. Because in the 1963 meeting, Zanzibaris were not yet independent. I don't think Zanzibar was independent by 1963. Even Kenya was not yet independent, but they were coming to independence. I think Zanzibar got independence in 64.
Revolution is 64. Independence was 63. 63. Independence.
Oh, okay.
When we didn't want that independence, we did revolution.
Oh, okay. So when Mr. Obote and Mzee Kenyatta hesitated, Tanganyika and Zanzibar went ahead and formed the United Republic of Tanzania. As I said in Soroti the other day, we were in Soroti on another occasion, if that decision had been implemented, the one of 1963, there would have been no problem of Idi Amin in Uganda. Possibly the problems of Rwanda and Burundi could have been solved earlier and with less loss of blood, of life. The Federation of East Africa would have found it easier to deal with the problems of South Sudan and Somalia. We need to remind ourselves that when we had a connected trade area in this area, there was no country called United States of America. When we had the connected trade area here, when I could trade from coast to Uganda, there was no United States of America. What do we say about these ancient societies of ours sitting around for the last 600 years and watching foreigners taking slaves from Africa, building strength until they were strong enough to either to enter the interior of Africa and colonize it? What do we say? Anyway, when we had opportunity to play a role, we did the necessary. Working with Mzee Arap Moi and Ndugu Ben Mkapa, we restored the EAC. It has moved forward. However, there are still obstacles that stunt the growth of these economies. Take the issue of banning products or unlicensing them so that they do not enter the other member states. You hear people saying that country X has a bumper crop this year and will therefore not allow products from the other countries to enter that market. What then happens is that producers of that product migrate to other enterprises and forget about the unlicensed product. 2 years down the road, you hear that there is a shortage in the same country X, and they want to buy the product. By that time, the product is no longer being produced in the country that was blocked. Even if Uganda is producing a lot of maize, for instance, we have never banned maize products from other East African countries. If we are producing maize, if we have a bumper crop, let other maize also come, and the Ugandans buy whatever is cheaper or better. Instead of saying, this year come, next year don't come, then what happens? I leave that business and do something else if there is no sufficient market. We have a lot of milk products. However, we have never banned milk products from other countries. The Ugandans, some of the Ugandans there, wanted me to ban Tanzanian rice. That mpunga wa Tanzania unaua walimaji wa mpunga wa Uganda. I said, if they are dying, they are dying easily. So if they are dying, let them die and we get more fit rice growers from Tanzania. I could not agree because, you see, there are 4 mistakes there. Number one, I am forcing Ugandans to buy more expensive rice of the inefficient Ugandan rice growers. That's mistake number one. Number two, I am undermining the Tanzanian rice grower because if he's efficient, we should all encourage him so that he grows. But if we deny him the market by administrative means, then we are undermining him. Number three, I am also kulemaza. Kulemaza is our local word meaning to cripple my own rice growers. Because if you give them this artificial protection, they will never be efficient. Let them be efficient and compete with the Tanzanians. Why do you protect the inefficient? But number four, then if I ban Tanzanian rice, Tanzania italipiza kisasi, ban also something from me. Come on, Mom, I can't be part of that historical mistake. So I said, no, if you can't compete with rice, leave rice and do rice in chakula ya Wahindi na Wachina na watu wengine. Lima mhogo, which you can do better. I'm glad that Mzee Moi and Mzee Mkapa worked with me to reconnect the markets of this area. Besides, we went beyond the mere re-establishment of the CTA, Connected Trading Area, and we created what is supposed to be a free trade area that also aims at political integration by creating the Federation of East Africa. I salute our brothers of Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, DRC, South Sudan, and Somalia for joining the EAC and therefore reconnecting the old CTA. You remember we had a CTA 1,000 years ago, Connected Trade Area, which had been disconnected by the Belgians and the Germans and all those people who came in because of our weaknesses. So now, the former CTA is now fully assembled. But it's now more than a CTA, it is now an FTA, a free trade area. We have gone up. Let us now consolidate and move forward together. We, the Pan-Africanists, insist on the economic integration of the whole continent of Africa and in some cases, the political integration of some parts of Africa, such as East Africa, because of the three historic missions we distilled from the beginning. These are prosperity for African people through creating an integrated market that is large enough to buy sustainably goods and services produced or provided by the African wealth creators and workers. You see, when we talk of integration, it's not an emotional thing. It's not that I want to be with the Kenyans, I want to be with the Tanzanians, I'm dying to be with this one. No. You need it for your wealth creators. If your wealth creators produce a good or a service, who will buy that good and service sustainably and on a big scale? The good thing is that Africans are asleep. Kulala naye ni vizuri. Because when you are asleep, you don't know where the danger is. A snake can enter your house and kill you, and you will die peacefully because you don't know. But when you wake up and you, like the Ugandans used to be very tribalistic. Tribalism, religion, Catholics, Protestants, Muslims. Now, when we have been fighting with them, they are woken up a bit now. So they produce a lot of milk. The internal market is not enough. The maize, the internal market is not enough. So if the Africans wake up, then they will be able to see the blindness. If the internal market of Uganda is not enough, if the internal market, I can see Tanzanians are now beginning to sell things into Uganda, beans and so on. So now the question is, where do they sell these products? Because there are examples in the world, like United States and Latin America. Latin America has got more Maria's city, more natural resources. Mito, Misitu, Madini. Latin America is very rich. I think it could be richer than the United States in terms of natural resources. But you see the poverty in Latin America. What is the problem? Wako na mali asili ya ajabu, lakini ni maskini ajabu. What is the problem? Because of the way they are organized. You cannot succeed to do business in many of the Latin American countries. I think one of the reasons, that's why I heard that you had high-level experts and so on. These high-level experts could tell us, why is it that Latin America is in misery and the United States is very prosperous? Could it be because of the connected market of America, of the USA, the fact that the founders of the USA created a big space for wealth creators? If I produce a good or a service, I have got enough buyers to buy it, and I can expand and produce more. Could it be that? Let's get an answer from the experts. So, reason number one why we support Pan-Africanism is that it will solve the problem of prosperity for our people by creating a big market for them where they can sell what they produce without limit. Now, the second one is that strategic security, to guard us against all threats from wherever. You hear that the Americans have gone to the moon. The Chinese have gone to the moon. The Russians have gone to the moon. Recently, the Indians went to the moon. The Africans are here. and they are not bothered. So, are we going to be like the chiefs? Because you remember the chiefs. You remember the chiefs. When Vasco da Gama came and passed years, anazunguka. and they couldn't see the danger and wake up and unite us. So people are going to, what are they going to do at the moon? Sisi tuko hapa tu. Wako huko juu wanatuangalia kama vidudu vile vinakula sukari. This is very dangerous. I'm glad you invited me. So that I tell you, because you are the ones who invited me. So, integration is about the 2 points. Prosperity for our people. Where will this prosperity come from? Ustawi wa jamii unatokana na omba, begging. Because if that, you hold it, you are strong. This is the one I'm giving you. This is Mwalimu Obote, Mzee Kenyatta na wengine. Federation this year. This was 1963. So one is for you again. The other one is for Iyala. The other one is for somebody else. You take them. So the strategic security is very dangerous. When you hear people going to the moon and we are here, Uganda is developing. Uganda will become, even Tanzania has joined, Kenya joined the middle income status some time ago. Tanzania has joined. We also have joined, although they have not declared us. We are waiting for the headmaster to declare, I don't know. But we are developing. But even if we develop, even if Uganda becomes a first world country, can we afford to go to the moon? Can we afford? Why hasn't UK gone to the moon? They are here with us. UK, France, wote wako hapa na sisi. Wahindi wamekwenda kwenye mwezi, wamekuja, lakini the other fellows are here with us. So there is something about size. You need size to be able to do certain things. And in order to achieve this, so the first, why we insist on Pan-Africanism, number one, prosperity for our people. But number two, strategic security, to be able to guard ourselves against all these adventurers. And using the undugu that God gave us, we are lucky. All these people we are talking about are either similar or the same. And in the case of East Africa, we have got even Swahili, which is a common language. The other day, I gave a speech briefly elaborating on each of these in Soroti, not to mention the many other documents in which I have discussed these issues. My speech in Soroti is annexed to this short statement. They will type it. What I want to highlight on this occasion is the question: why should this ancient connected trade area of more than 1,000 years of similar or linked people be lagging behind countries that do not even exist when this CTA was 600 years old? Because by the time the Karambas went to America, 1492, our CTA had been here for 600 years or more. Our connected trade area, this area we are talking about. The Kenya side, the connection was not so much because of the Maasai. The Maasai were stopping trade from the coast. But here, we had this ancient connectivity. Maybe the other question would be, who would lose if this ancient land of our peoples that has been connected trade-wise for more than 1,000 years was to integrate family, both economically and even politically. I thank everybody.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for those words of wisdom. You are indeed a walking encyclopedia of history, and we really thank you for your wisdom. We take away your key words